Exactly 3 p.m. here in Cairo, time for Panorama News, and we start with a look at the major headlines. President Fattah al-Sisi wraps up his visit to Oman. G7 leaders wrap up summit meant to bolster Ukraine support. And Qatar welcomes hosting Iran-US in direct talks in Doha. President Fattah al-Sisi left the Omani capital for Bahrain on Tuesday. Earlier, President al-Sisi met Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman in Al-Alam Al-Aimir Palace in the capital, Muscat. Details on the visit in the coming report.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi left the Omani capital for Bahrain on Tuesday. Earlier, President al-Sisi had met Sultan Haytham bin Tariq Al Said of Oman in Al-Alam Al-Amir Palace in the capital, Muscat. Presidential spokesperson Bassam Raji said that President al-Sisi and Sultan Haytham held private talks during which President al-Sisi praised the level of coordination between the two sides and unified vision over issues of mutual concern. Radi said al-Sisi also expressed appreciation for sharing viewpoints over efforts to keep maritime security in the Arabian Gulf and the Red Sea and fighting terrorist organizations. For his part, the Omani Sultan praised Cairo's role in boosting joint Arab action mechanism before crisis and challenges facing the region. Radi said the meeting discussed means of boosting bilateral ties between the two sides, especially in the trade, economic, and investment fields. He said a number of international issues of mutual concern, especially the Russian-Ukrainian crisis and its repercussions on the region, also topped the agenda of the talks. President al-Sisi also met Oman's Prime Minister Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Said during his stay in Oman. Presidential spokesperson Bassam Raji said President al-Sisi praised the hospitality received in Oman and strong historical and cultural ties between the two sides. He said Cairo is looking forward to developing relations with Muscat within a sustainable framework of economic integration and strategic cooperation. For his part, the Omani Prime Minister stressed ties between the two countries. He expressed a concern on expanding cooperation with Cairo to the level of strategic partnership to serve the interests of the Omani and Egyptian peoples. Both sides reviewed progress in many fields in light of the recommendations of the Egyptian-Omani Joint Committee Business Council. During his visit to Oman, President al-Sisi also met representatives of the country's business institutions, company heads, and concerned government bodies. He said that the meeting started with a showing of a documentary detailing achievements in Egypt in recent years, followed by a review by the Minister of Planning Al Said's of investment opportunities and mechanisms in Egypt in all fields. He said that during the encounter, President al-Sisi expressed keenness on developing economic and trade ties with the business community in Oman to serve the interests of both sides. He also praised the positive developments to the economic trade ties between Cairo and Muscat.
Fattah al-Sisi expressed his condolences to Jordan's King Abdullah II and Jordanian people over the casualties of the toxic chlorine gas explosion in the Jordanian Red Sea port of Aqaba. He said he is praying for peace for the dead, speedy recovery of the injured, and expressed his condolences for the families of the victims. More than 250 people were injured in the accident on Monday, of whom 123 remain in hospital on Tuesday, according to the latest toll update. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli held phone talks with Jordan's Prime Minister Bishr al-Khawasna to express condolences over the deaths in Aqaba port explosion. Madbouli said Egypt stands with Jordan in this painful event. For his part, the Jordanian Prime Minister said the situation in Aqaba is now under control. 13 people were killed and around 260 others injured when toxic chlorine gas escaped on the dock side in the Jordanian Red Sea port of Aqaba on Monday. 13 people were killed, including at least 4 Asian migrants, when the toxic gas escaped on the dockside in the Jordanian Red Sea port of Aqaba, according to the hospital officials. More than 250 people were injured in the accident on Monday, of whom about 100 remained in hospital. Most were being treated for the effects of breathing the gas, a common cleaning agent that also has a range of other industrial uses and can be employed as a chemical weapons agent. The port began returning to normal Tuesday, with all docks due to reopen except for Dock 4, where further safety checks were to be carried out. The gas escaped when the cable snapped on a crane loading a tank of liquefied gas onto a ship, sending it crashing to the ground on the dockside. The force of the fall punctured the pressurized container enveloping the freighter 46 in a shroud of the bright yellow gas. Closed-circuit television images from the port showed on Tuesday civil defense forces were seen inspecting the scene of the spill, some dressed in hazmat suits.